What's up, Passports family? Mike back here with Passport for Yonder Training. We got the one and only Reggie Dillon on the podcast there. What's up, Reggie?
Not much, man. How things going for you?
Man, everything's good, man. Everything's good, man. I'm flattered and glad I was able to link up, man, and get you on here, man. I was thinking today, I was driving back from Georgia, and I was thinking about thinking back when we met in '96.
Right.
And I never forget me coming on a visit, and you were a GA, were you a GA at the
Right.
time? Yeah, you were a GA at the time, and I remember y'all picked me from the airport. I landed, y'all got me, put me in Jack's hotel in Jackson. The next morning, y'all got me up, and you was like, they're like, what you do last night? I said, well, I walked down the street, and they're like, man, you can't walk around in Jackson like that.
Nah, you can't do that, man.
18-year-old green, I'm just going to grab some food, you know what I mean? So I was just reminiscing about that, man. But, man, it's been a long time, man. Man, just, I kind of want to let our viewers know, man, your background, your story, because I know it, you know what I mean? And I know, when I saw Reggie coaching high-level track and field, like, man, Reggie was, dialed in with a football program, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man. Well, I think in '99, Sam Wright was there.
Yeah.
Sam Wright was doing it, and then they had Antonio Moore. He had left, and I was actually helping out just a little bit with recruiting with track, just a little bit, not much. And Coach Hughes was actually doing track, and he had got promoted up to, I think, defensive coordinator. And I was actually gone on a trip, and they hit me back and they said, hey, man, what about trying to help us out with track? We're going to do the business part of it, and you kind of do the training part of it. And I was like, let's just see how it goes. And I was already doing conditioning stuff like that with football, so I got out there and tried to see how it went. And I had a pretty good team then, and had Travis Smothers, Bryson Smothers, Latrey Lewis, and those guys. And they had already been through fall training. It was just time to get ready to get on the track. And so we got in there, and I don't think I never did a travel. I don't think I never did a meal request or nothing. I just trained them up and got them ready to go, and we actually made it to national in a couple of events. We're pretty decent, and that's when 40 point was real good. And
yeah.
40 point ain't nothing now. You run 40 point, you probably dead last. But we got that going, and then I kind of the next year I said, look, I got to stay away from the football guys because they're banged up. So let's see about getting some true track guys in there. And I went around the state and kind of recruited some track guys, and Coach Murphy and Coach Hughes, they helped me out a lot. And then from there on, man, it kind of caught fire with a guy out of Tupelo, Sean Terrell, and a guy out of Starkville. They kind of put me on some guys, and Lemuel Claiborne out of Holly Spring. And, we kind of got going, and then we really hit when we had a chance to get Trail Kimmons, and we had a chance to get Kedrick Gibbons and Al Winsley, and those guys there were 3 national champions. Trail was the first that was back-to-back in the 60, and he ran the 200, and Kedrick was the 60 hurdler champion and the long jump champion, and Al was the high jump champion and the triple jump champion. And, on that team, you had 3 guys that when you got off the bus, you were getting, at nationals, you were getting about 56 points. And we had a long jumper that's pretty good, and Clarence Spratt, and a 4x4. Heck, I think we finished 3rd in the nation or 4th in the nation one year with 72 points, and only about 8 guys scored, and that's including the 4x4. So really only 4 guys scored. But we kind of keep it now still, sprint jumps, hurdles, and relays. And we dibble-dabbled a little bit with the pole vault. We finished runner-up one year, won the national the next year, and then we got this past year, we got into the mid distance, and we set the national record in the 600. And I was like, look, man, we just going to pick and choose our battles and where we get a good athlete, in the state or close by, and just try to do the best we can with them.
Man, that's pretty cool, man. So I'm going on a limb, man. You seem like you got the best college program in the state of Mississippi right now.
Yeah, you got Meridian had a real good run. They had some good guys over there, And they do a lot of good with jumps and middle distance and sometimes with sprints. And then you got Kahoma, and they're talking about other schools there in the state junior college get going. But I want to be biased, even with Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, and those guys. Like you said, I think that we probably do have the best sprint, jumps, hurdle, relay program in the state of Mississippi. You know, that's hands down with 4 years and all.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So that being said, so Reggie, when you go to recruit an athlete, like what are you looking for in an athlete right now on the guy's side and the female side? Like what
So the first thing is someone that wants to be at Hinds Community College. And we're not gonna beg you, we're not gonna do that, but someone that fits our program and someone that wants to develop into I guess a lot of people say, well, the athlete, no, that want to develop and become a better person. They got goals for themselves outside of track.
right,
And track is the key, but at the end of the day, your feet can't turn forever.
that's right,
And you want to try to get someone that can that can buy into what you do, and they want to do what they have to do to be successful, and they want to, as Nick Saban says, create a value for yourself. You
right,
came here at $5. Create a value that when you leave, you're worth $5,000.
right, right,
And by that is, yes, you might have to single down and go from the 100 to the 2 and the 4. But right now, in American sprinting in college, they're going to go get as many internationals as they can to do that. And we've got internationals too. But if you get a U.S. kid, you're going to try to get them to be a 2-4 kid that can try to help you and create a value for themselves.
right,
When you get to international kids, you're trying to get kids that are basically, we want to get the best international kids we can get for our program. We're not going to get 2 hurdlers. We're going to get 1 hurdler in the short, 1 in the long.
right,
We look for people that has range. In the girls, we want range. In the girls, we want a 400-meter runner that can really go down and do the short sprints and come up. Same in the hurdlers. We like to get a 4 hurdler so that they can go down and do the short hurdlers. And we want somebody that knows the game of track and field. They know, okay, what is a drive phase? What is fall training? What is power clean?
right.
What is loading? What is unloading? And
Hmm.
stuff like that. You just don't want to be like, well, I just go out there and run.
Yeah, right,
Nah,
right,
you got to know something. You got
right,
to know
right.
something. What's your recovery? What's your rest period? What is this? What is that? Why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it that? And someone that can talk to you and tell you, okay, well, in high school, I did it this way, and my body understands that better. Then let's try to see if we can't come to a happy medium between both of us so that we both can be successful. Because everybody can adjust to somebody's style of training. I'm not going to call out any coaches, but everybody
Yeah,
can adjust to John McDonald of the old style of training. Everybody can't adjust to Robert Johnson style of training. Everybody can't adjust to Vince Anderson. I
right,
mean, uh, you have to sometimes meet the athlete to get the best out of them.
right,
Because when you recruited the athlete, they were running fast, and you saw potential, and you saw an upside. So why not go back and do what they were doing and see, can you correct it? The
right,
engine's there, just change the oil, put some new tires on it, and let it burn.
right. That makes sense. I like what you said. Y'all basically don't want a one trick pony. I don't think no.
No.
I get kids right now, so I just run the 100. I just run the 400. Well, if you try to go next level, it's not going to work out that way for you.
Exactly. We had a young man that went to University of Texas on a visit, one of our sophomores this past fall, and they told him, they said, we told him before he left, we said, you're going to have to run the forward now. You watch and see. He came back on the visit, and they told him, he said, Coach, everybody runs the 4x4. I said, I told you. Short sprint, hurdlers, jumpers, they're all going to run the 4x4.
Right.
That's what it's all about so that you can be successful. You know, indoors right now with the roster limits and all that stuff, everybody's got to contribute. You got to go back to the days of Christian Taylor and those guys where they were jumping on the 4x4. Grant Holloway was jumping on the 4x4. T.T. Terry, they were jumping on there. Marshall Vet Hooker, all of them. They were
Right.
running 4x4 so that they could get it done.
That's right. That's right. So you mentioned the roster limit and the junior college status changing now. How's that help you guys from kids come to junior college now, not losing eligibility. How does that help you guys?
So that has not passed yet.
Okay.
It was back here 2 or 3 years ago with the quarterback at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
So the Pavia rule. So back then they gained a year.
Got it.
So that rule hasn't passed. I think it probably goes in, it will try to go in effect like 2027, 2028.
Okay.
Now, when that happens, yes, what you will get is probably you'll get more US kids that will start looking at junior college and they will try to say, okay, let me create a value for myself here because most of your other your senior college are going to go after internationals or they going to go in the portal and get people from there.
Right.
So people, as far as junior college in 27 and 28, you're going to be looking at, you load your roster, get those kids, and now you help them create a value for themselves. Right now, everything is on the up and up. It's 2 for 2. You use 2 years, you got 2 left. Unless you got a red shirt year in there somewhere. We've got some kids that sometimes we bring them in and red shirt them. But a lot of people think that rule has passed. It hasn't passed yet. I
Okay.
talked to a couple of Division I coaches, and they said, no, it's not until 27 or 28.
I'm glad you said that because I was one. I thought it already passed. You know what I mean? I
No,
had
no,
no
no.
idea.
It's probably got a while to go. It's passed in the eyes of people thinking that it's passed. And
Okay.
just like me, when they said that, I got like 2 or 3 recruits were like, coach, I'm just going to come to junior college because it doesn't count. I said, hold up. Let me make sure I'm not
Right.
lying to you. I don't want to tell you something that I don't think is true.
Right. Got it. So, Red, what's your biggest thing like bringing athletes in and development? I hear a lot. I talk to a lot of Power 5 college coaches, Power 4. They're like, we don't have time to develop no more. You got to come in ready to score in the spring. Like, what's your take on that in your program? And yeah.
So in junior college, your freshmen are going to be counted on. Your sophomores are going to be, your small core of the group. But developing athletes is what makes you a coach.
100%.
Um, I'm going to say this and I might get in trouble. We're not one to go check your levels. And if you're low in iron, raise your iron. If you're low in B12, get your B12 shot. If you're low in vitamin C, we're going to get you more of this. And man, when they were running, they were doing that. And that's what I'm going to deal with. And we're going to take a kid and we're going to develop it. And 2 years, last year, we had a change in coaching. One of our assistants, long time, did a great job. He left and took another job. And I had an opportunity to hire a guy that was going to change the weight room. And he changed it. He changed the dynamic of the program. And you could see it from bottom to top. We were developing kids. We were making kids better. But what he did in the weight room is basically developing them more and more and more. We're taking a kid that is a 10-8 and take them to 10-3.
Yeah.
And they're consistent 10-3. They don't go straight to 10-3. They might go.
Red, you hear me? I lost him. Let's see here. So I can get him back. Reggie, can you hear me? Hey, we apologize. We'll get Reggie back in here in a minute now. We lost him somehow. He'll log back in a second. And we apologize for the. We get him back on stage.
Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Okay.
Yep.
So as I was saying, you got kids that we have changed them in the weight room, and that has basically helped develop those kids. We had a 48 quarter kid that now ran 46.5. We had a 22-1 kid, and this kid ran 21.0. He was 49.98, and he has ran 48 flat, 47.5.
Wow.
And we had a 52 400 hurdler that has now ran 50.3. We had a 13.9 hurdler that has ran 13.66, a 14 flat female hurdler that has ran 13.81, a 12 flat girl that has ran 11.5, a 11.8 girl that has ran 11.4,
Man.
a 54 girl that has ran, a 53 girl that has ran 52.1. And I mean consistent 52.1. We broke a 15-year-old junior college national record in the 600, but it's developing those kids to go out of the norm, do something that you're supposed to do.
Right.
And that
Right.
is really helping those kids. I mean, developing their talent. I had Ricky Babineau here, and he came, and Ricky was a kid that was a triple jumper, a long jumper, a hurdler. He came to me and he said, Coach, I don't want to do that. I said, well, son, we signed you to do this.
Right.
He's like, Coach, if I can run 21.3 at this test run, you got to make me a 200-meter runner, 400-meter runner. I was like,
Right.
okay, we'll give you a shot. He runs 21.40. He goes, what do you think, Coach? I said, all right, I'm going to give you a shot. Kid anchors a relay, 39.5. Kid pops relays all 46. He ends up being a 3 or 4 time team national champion at Texas A&M.
Wow. Wow. That's
So he
crazy.
came here on a partial scholarship because junior college they give fulls, but we got to make it work, and he was partial, and he left here with like a 92% or 94% scholarship to Texas A&M. He created
Wow.
value for himself.
Right.
We took
Right.
a young lady out of Killeen, Texas. She was 104 in the 400 hurdles, and she ended up running 101, and she signed with Southeastern
Wow.
Louisiana. I mean, great job. National champion runner up. I mean, we've done some guys to develop ladies and men. A great job with them.
Yeah, no, I love to hear it. I mean, because a lot of programs aren't developing anymore. You know what I mean? So I love to hear that you guys still developing. Because you get a high school kid and you transition, you still want them to continue to develop. If they're not taking any type of performance enhancements, you know what I mean? Like you want to
Right.
continue to do.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They want to tell the kid, well, you got to take more of this. You got to take more of that. And it throws the kid's body off.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's just like a lot of, in recruiting right now, I'm talking about 8 kids. And one kid says, well, Coach, I'm looking at going to Sam Houston State. And I'm going, okay, cool. What do you run? What's your PR?
right,
58.3, a girl. I'm like, okay, so they have 7 girls that run 54 and 3 that run 52. Where are you gonna fit on the roster limit? Well,
right,
I'm gonna walk on. You can't walk on no more.
right, right,
We got a young lady this year that we got picked her up in June. I said, well, what are your plans? We went and watched her at a practice, and she ran real well. I said, what are your plans? I'm gonna walk on at this school, and I was like, you can't walk on anymore.
right,
I said, if you're gonna walk on, you're gonna pay $25,000 there. You might well come pay 2,500 here.
right, right,
You
right.
might
Yes,
as
sir.
well do that.
Right,
And she did it. She is probably gonna be one of the better short hurdlers we have. She's gonna be a good 400 hurdler, and she's gonna be a great leg on a relay.
nice, nice. So, how is it for you guys? Out of state. Like, are y'all looking for more athletes out of state? And I'm asking because I got to follow when I'm on posters. I'm gonna get a bunch of text messages and all these other things.
Hey,
I just
we're looking for athletes. I don't care if they're Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Oregon, Minnesota, Michigan, New York. It doesn't matter. Hinds Community College, we give you an opportunity here. And some people, hey, you might have to come to Hinds and you might have to pay $1,000 or $2,000 a semester. But when you leave here, if you create that value for yourself, you might have to pay nothing when you go to a Division I school.
Right.
Where
And
you were, where you were not looked at running as a girl 24-4, you come here and get developed and run 23-8, 23-5. Now you get more opportunities for yourself.
right. And what you said was you're gonna develop and you're gonna help and as long as they show it to create more value, you're gonna develop. That's the key.
Yeah. I mean, I had a coach around this area to tell us, he was like, Coach, and it's crazy because he says it, but I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, y'all are the closest thing that these kids get to a Division I program. You run your program like a Division I program. But then the next day he comes back and says, Coach, you treat those kids just like they're in high school. You one-on-one, y'all mentor them, y'all talk to them, y'all know them by name. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, yeah, doors
Yeah.
are open. And when
Right.
you get an athlete, hey man, girls and guys, if they just have just a little success, and they might have been jumping the rope for 20 times a day and they got faster, they're gonna
Right.
probably jump it 40 times a day then.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. No, right. That's pretty cool, man. Man, I'm excited. I got some athletes, we've been talking about that I kind of want to send your way. I got some other programs too that I can definitely link you with. You know what I mean? Here in South
Yeah,
Carolina.
do that, man, because here's the thing. We might not get them, but in the future, let's just get out there, get our name out there so that we can get those kids. I mean, we've had kids from Virginia, from Maryland. Grant Holloway saw us run at LSU when he was at Florida. He saw us run there. I get a call one day from his agent. Says, hey, man, we need to talk to you. I was like, what's up? And he says, Grant wants to put a kid at Hinds. Florida wants to put a kid at Hinds. I'm like, okay. Next thing I know, we get a kid that's 13-4 hurdler.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. And the kid graduates from Hinds. He goes to University of Florida. He does his thing there. I think he transfers after that, getting the portal, transfer somewhere else. He graduates. And just last night, me and his mom was texting, and we had like a fundraiser for the team, and she always donates to help out the kids. And she was just talking about, Coach, I appreciate everything you did for my son. We had another kid from New York, way from New York. And this kid ended up going back to Rutgers. And his dad always checks in, hey, Coach, how are things going? And it's just a point of just like the relationship with you. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we're going to miss on some. We're not going to get none, but just put our name out there and give us a chance. If you compare us to the other schools, just give us a chance. I mean,
Pretty.
just give us an opportunity, visit us. If you can't visit us, we can do Zoom calls. Coach Trey John Johnson has got a wonderful, it's almost like a podcast, but it's a video of everything we do. I mean, he will take it step by step from the time you walk on campus until, you know, the afternoon after practice. He can take you through the morning to the nighttime and show everything that we do. And it's just like being there. It's like a virtual tour, you
No, man.
know? And yeah. And I mean, in the past, people of the past have come in there and talked, but we just want to give these kids opportunity and let them give opportunity. There's nothing wrong with junior college. There's nothing wrong with junior college in any sport. If you look back when Tyson Gay, Trail Kimmons, uh, Ryan Bailey, and Justin Gatlin was on the relay back here when they won in 2016, 2012, three of those guys went to junior college.
Yeah.
Three of them. Only one
No,
didn't was Gatlin.
that's huge. I think a lot of kids need to know that, man. So, Reggie, kind of tell everybody like where can they find you at, your information, your IG, Twitter, wherever you do, so that way they can come back and hear this.
It's so our website is www.hinds.edu. My IG is Coach3906. We are Hinds Track and Field, HCC Track and Field. If you go on our website, it has all our social media handles. I mean, you can follow us every day and see our day-to-day live for as coaches. We also have a YouTube channel that Coach Trajon Johnson runs. It's a vlog. It has every day of practice. You can see the times. You can see the workouts. We're not scared of posting anything. We'll post the workouts. We'll post what we do. You just got to sit out there and learn them. You know, we won't
Reggie,
give you the piece of paper, but we'll tell you what they're running every single day.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
it's out there, man. I mean, we want kids to come to Hinds. We want kids to come here that want to be here, and we want kids that we can develop and kids that we can create a value for so that they will be better human beings once they leave Hinds Community College.
Hey, brother, I love it, man. Hey, you want to be developed, best program in the country, hands down. Reggie, man, I'm not gonna take no more of your time. I know you got somewhere to be, man, but we need to do a part two of this. We got a little
Hey,
more
we can
time.
do a part two. Let's do a part two in the office, and we can
Okay.
take you around, let you see the new weight room and stuff like that, man. We added some things and got some things going indoor facility. We got a little indoor track that we use with YMCA,
Right.
4-lane Mondo Bank, and we'll do stuff like that, man.
Let's do it, Reggie, man. I appreciate your time, brother, and let me know when we can drop that part two. That way they can kind of see the facilities and kind of go from there.
Yes, sir. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, appreciate you, Reggie.
All right. Bye bye.